what is the core thesis of the food and the brand that you're building? There must be some, because it's an extensive menu. What are you trying to build? What are you trying to serve? Is there a core thought?
I think it's four things. Giving people an American portion,
Which
them
is
a
large portions.
large portion.
Okay.
Giving them a priced Chinese thing, which is a value for money price. Then giving them a palate, which is Indian flavor, so a twist to the food, and ultimately giving them, I think, Japanese consistency. You asked me 4 points, I said.
That's a very tall ask, right? So Avinash, thank you so much for taking the time and talking to us. We have heard legends, and I have been to the restaurant a couple of times. I had to wait quite a bit to get in, and I don't know if people know that, but so Truffles is the most legendary brand, one of the most legendary brands in Bangalore, and extensive menu, very very popular with the younger crowd. Please, like, correct me if I am wrong here. Okay. Very
Overhyping us a bit.
very very popular with the younger crowd. And how many years has it been in the making now?
About 18 years now.
18 years now.
Yeah.
Tell us how you started. I think that's a fascinating story in itself.
Actually started as a restaurant 20 years ago, but we started in a club in Bangalore, quite cosmopolitan club, and the response which we got out of there made us think that we need to do a restaurant. We came out, we started a very very small way, a 15-seater restaurant, maybe say 5 staff, and quite proud to say that the first 5 staff are still there with us about 20 years in the game today. And yeah, we've grown to about 650 is our total strength of employees in 9 outlets. And we do have a centralized kitchen where we try to see that the consistent quality remains in each branch. So what motivates us is to maintain quality, to innovate, and just to stay ahead of the game which is there. And we're quite proud when some people try to do what we are trying to do. So try to think that we are leaders in the business at least. And yeah, going forward, hoping that we accomplish new milestones as we travel, and really happy to have you all as our partner, because delivery today in India is not a really small thing. It's a big value from what we do, and bringing food to customers when they're waiting at a table, when they get that home, that was the first thing I think you all deciphered for us in our first, we took out a thing that they say you don't need to wait anymore and you can get your food delivered at home. So yeah, it's been a very long journey. 20 years is a very long time, but we're happy to be here and to collaborate with you.
And how many outlets do you have right now?
We have about 6 restaurants and 4 cloud kitchens.
So in 20 years, about 10. So it takes, in every 2 years, you're more or less.
Our storyline has not been to expand to more restaurants. It's to get more people into our restaurants. So we started with the 15-seater, as you say, and that branch still there. We made it a 35, but in COVID we closed it because of social distancing. It'll reopen in 2 months now. We've taken another branch over there, which is a 130-seater. Same way in one of our outlets, it was a 25-seater. Today it's 160. So we grow and we expand the business in that place to saturate that area. And we know delivery does 6, 8, 10 kilometers today, depending on traffic. So we don't want to dilute our business by opening too many branches at the same time. But when we see that one outlet is taking too much load, that's when we build a branch, which is strategically decisions given by people like you where the heat is, to open another branch and then disinvest the crowd into those frames. So we take a lot of data and we do expand, but very organically, and seeing the strength of the people and how the restaurant gets pounding again with people, and based on that we do. But we have to keep the quality. So our growth has been very slow in the terms of number of restaurants, because we want to get the quality, getting the same quality every time with the hygiene levels in place. It's not a very easy job.
So that might sound a bit humble than it actually is, I think, right? Because even if the number of outlets hasn't grown that fast, I think the revenue has really kept pace, and the growth of the business has been really, really nice. You would agree with that, I'm assuming.
Just we try to grow at say maybe 10%, 15% a year. We're quite
Mm.
happy doing that. And right now we've taken a new facility which is 8 times what we have today, and getting more equipment there to get you more consistent quality of what is derived. We'll be shifting there in another 40 days time, I think. And that's when we'll do a little more growth
Mm.
and capture most of Bangalore where we are not at right now, and do like say one cloud kitchen, one restaurant. That's the way to go. At least do three in a year. We'll be there, and again, I think we'll double our capacity in 2 to 3 years from now.
But see, generally when I talk to you, you talk more about quality than about growth.
Because that's the game, right? It's not about innovation is a part of it to stay in the trend, but trends keep changing. But in the end of the day, at home you eat dal chawal, right? So the basics of food need to be right and served the same day with the amount of volume of business you do. You need to expand your back end that much. People think today that the restaurant should the seating capacity. It's not like that. We started with 15%, 20% kitchen, and 70, 85% was the dine-in. Today the new spot which we've taken is 50% kitchen and 50% restaurant. It's because you have to maintain more hygiene. You need space. You need people to move around. You need things to keep. You get departments where you segregate things, which you do when the business is growing. If you don't do that, then you're going to be then it's the downside of a business. So you need to concentrate on welfare of your staff, having the space to work in as well, in a nice well ventilated place, rather than crunching the game to get more business out tomorrow. So the quality is more important than the taste. Can vary 5%, 7%, and from branch to branch, which we are also trying to correct by doing it centrally. Yeah.
And when we say quality, you mean hygiene more than taste. Is
Yes.
that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And you're saying that hygiene is the most important thing
Most important thing.
when it comes to running a restaurant, and taste can vary a little bit. It doesn't really matter.
It matters that you come to eat something and you expect it to taste like that, but a 3 to 5% doesn't make a real difference to a customer. But we are also going into more than theory, writing down recipes, briefing staff, training them. So we've hired kitchen trainers today, that they come, take out videos, share, and write down the whole thing, the procedure, how the SOP, each dish is to be made and followed, along with how it's stored and how many hours or whatever process a particular raw material can be refrigerated, kept, and done. And same thing we do with a safety audit. So we have a team of auditors who are called safety auditors, who are in our uh, team, who go and audit each team, give the points to each branch, tell them their weak points, bring it up to the operations guy. He have to bring it up to the chef. They correct them, and you get better. We are all human, right? We make certain mistakes, but we need to correct. We take corrective actions. If we don't do that, and you think that as you say, reading restaurant, it doesn't work like that. You always need to think negative. You need to think that tomorrow I'm not going to be there. What do I need to be there to survive today? And how do I take this business forward? If you're going to think that you're on the top of the game, that is, you're dead. If you think I have the best food, I have best thing, that's the last day you'll operate your restaurant. You have to think that people are gunning for me, trying to catch up with you and going ahead and be on top of the game.
Correct.
That's where and it's a 365-day full power, no shit, no shower. Restaurant business is 365-day
Restaurant business is one of the hardest
I've
ones to
been,
run here.
I think, 16 years since when I took off on Sundays. So I take off on a Sunday now after 16 years of, it's been like 2-3 years where I take off on a Sunday. That too, some Sundays you need to work. So it's not as glamorous as it looks like, restaurant business, nightlife. It's not like that. It's full time. And when your restaurant opens at 8 for delivery, that means your staff is coming in at 5. And when it closes at 1 for delivery, means your staff is going in at 3. So the span of time of work, it's a huge span of time. So we're looking at third shift now, because we've expanded our delivery into the night. We've taken 5 restaurants into 1 o'clock, and the ultimate game is to take it to 3 o'clock in delivery.
Tell me one thing, like you said that the first 5 people who started working with you are still here.
Yeah.
In general, the restaurant industry faces a lot of churn.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just...
Churn is about 5% in the restaurant industry, 5, 6, 7. But
are you talking monthly or annual?
monthly. In
Yeah.
a restaurant, is 5 to 6%
Yeah,
usually. But
exactly.
yeah, we've limited it now to one, is because you need to take care of your staff, right? In restaurant business, you provide accommodation, you provide lodging, food, you provide medical insurance, you provide, and today the minimum wages also of a person are really big. So catching up with the unorganized sector is huge also. So for them it doesn't matter, so to compete with them and do all these things, take home becomes lesser for a person in an organized sector. Doing all that, you have to have a briefing training every time on how your whole remuneration is paid, keeping them there, so they realize anybody who comes into our actually workforce, if he leaves and goes somewhere else, in 3 months he's back to us saying that doesn't happen, we want to be back with you. So you have to treat them like family. When they have problems, it's your problem. If you're going to think that you got sick or you got some family problems, you take care of it yourself, that's again the last day of your business. You need to know that their problems are your problems. So we treat everybody like family. It's one big truffle family.
Very nice. And that's what leads to the difference in the five
Yes.
percent industry churn versus the one
Yeah,
ish
it's
percent
really
that you
is
have.
we've got down really cracking on it now, and we understand how it works.
And do you also believe that if we have lesser churn, that would lead to higher quality produced, higher like quality
Yes, because a
output of the
trained
restaurant?
person for some time makes better food than an untrained
Of
person,
course.
because he's got the speed, he's got to know the knowledge,
Mm,
he knows how much he's using, what he's doing, and everything. Again, trained person becomes slower.
mm.
So it becomes slower, and it can go variation in recipe a bit. So a guy is there and he knows, it's in the back of his brain, he knows what he's doing,
Yeah.
and he's used to work those 8 hours non-stop. He can, like with certain breaks he can, but new people, in other restaurants maybe it's a little slower compared to what we churn out because of our volume. So it's very difficult for our staff to cope with us. So we keep them in smaller fields, give them breaks, nudge them, bring them into the whole regime of working, right?
Mm.
But they really, after that, if it's a non-busy day, suddenly for something, they come, they all call me bhaiya, they don't even call me sir, because I've grown up with them. Say bhaiya kya ho gaya aaj, bore lag raha hai karke, kuch ho hi nahi raha hai, they say. So they're so used to that energy and work, they get disturbed when it's a slow day. That really keeps them, keeps me happy to know that they want to put in their best foot forward.
So this is interesting, huh? I have always actually wondered that we put a lot of effort into creating SOPs,
Yeah.
and a lot of cost also goes into
Yes, a
creating
lot.
SOPs and quality and like quality control and this and
Yes.
that. If we were to take out half of that cost and put it into retention of the people that we have, that would
Mhm.
lead to higher quality output than us just investing all the money
It
at
has
the
to be done both
it
ways.
has to be done both ways, right?
Yeah, it doesn't work
And
otherwise. The motivation has to be there from the people, and the package has to go to them.
hmm,
And so the whole, it's a story, right? You have to tell it it has to be rounded. You have to put in each percentage of factor of a business counts. So that's why you say you have to be a businessman also to run this whole thing. You cannot just be somebody with culinary skills. So all that rounded thing, putting all your effort in. It's not today. The number of people in our back end and our office was 3 times of what we started in the first restaurant, right? I think you all know that the team of over here who delivers, and the team you all have at your office today, which I've seen, is humongous, right? Because it's the back end only which is going to count. There are new people coming in to do this business, but there's nobody to take your call there and say like, where's my order, what happened? So you all have that. You have to have that backup, right? You cannot just take an order and say that it'll be delivered and the customer doesn't know who to speak to if there's some problem. So
correct.
that's where you're at the top of your game. So we also have to be at the top of our game to give you all results.
And I mean, there is a lot of, I mean, a lot of people ask me questions. A lot of budding restaurant owners also ask me, what are the three things that I need to do well if I have to start and make a restaurant really work? And I don't think there's a real answer to those number of three things, because I think you have to do everything really,
You have to
really
have
well.
that fire in your belly. You don't have to have money in your pocket, because otherwise you're going to think that my risk appetite is more. So when I started this business, I started this business out of zero. Take a loan, start your business. You don't know where money is going to come in from tomorrow. So then you're fighting for life, right? When you're fighting for life, you understand that there is no going back. So when there's no going back, you give your 100%. right? My day would start at 4 in the morning and end at 2. You sleep for 2, 3, 4 hours. So it is like that. If you know that this is your option and you need to give it your fullest, you'll put in your best foot forward, you'll put in the best of what you can deliver, and you'll strive till it's a success. But when you know you have some money backed up somewhere and kept as an insurance policy, you're always going to get tired and say, boss, I give up. So you have to you plan this, make money, keep it as a reserve for running, or if you have a reserve, keep it as as an investment into your business to run for the next 1 year or 2 years. It's going to succeed. You may be not right, you'll make mistakes, but if you learn from your own mistakes and correct them, eventually it has to succeed. But if you give up, then you will give up in
Fair
life.
enough. I think having a lot of money to begin with when you start a new business also makes you
It-
lazy.
It
on
makes you
taking the
lazy,
right-
but if you've worked in this entire field, you cannot just be a culinary person to start a business. So it has to have a team of people, or you need to know yourself, because uh, how I don't believe in partnerships. So you have to know most of it yourself. How to run the food part, you have to know how to run the business part, you know how to run the taxation part, you to know how to be a people's person to maintain your staff that's provided. And when you grow, you'll have people doing that. You need to choose the right people. And
Founders need to know everything. That's my
yes, one needs you
fund
need to
as
be on
well.
top of the game, because it's
Correct.
in any business.
Hmm.
But yeah, since this is a food business and it's like 24-hour, you need to be you're more involved. Once your involvement is not there, it's your downside.
Fair enough. So coming to the menu part of the story of Truffles, you have an extensive menu, like 400, 370 something dishes.
Yeah, we cut it from 370 to 325 now, or little lower, I think 310. We took out 70 odd dishes in last June or so. Yeah.
But even then, there's a very, 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 very large menu, and the conventional wisdom says that smaller menus
Yes.
are better. What's your take on that? Small menus or big menus?
See, we're a little different from the rest of the market. Okay, so it's like an all-day diner. It's not necessary. Some people don't want to eat bread today. Some people don't want to eat a pasta today. Some people want to have protein. So when a group of 5 people go out and one person says, I don't want to eat a burger, and this is only a burger place, you'll choose like something else. But we want to have a cuisine of 5 dishes from each, maybe a country or a cuisine or whatever you say. So if this is not you can also get this, and the quality is equal to the other restaurant. So you bring in that whole concept. You have dishes which are very low priced. So like you have college kids coming in, right? This was my concept when I was doing this business. You have dishes which are at the market level, one or two you keep very low, even though it's not a profit maker. Is because a college kid comes, he cannot say I cannot afford this. He'll say, today I feel like having an omelette sandwich or a cheese sandwich. I'm very full, I feel like, but that quantity what we give him is a 3 egg omelette example with some slaw, mashed potato, toast. It doesn't make money for us. It's okay. It's what brings the 5 people to your restaurant. You have to think like a human, right? I want people to come to my restaurant. I want that whole group to come. I want them to come twice a week, not once in 2 months. Like it has to be the dal chawal of your house where you eat 5 times a day and go out 2 times. I want to make it that I want them to feel the comfort of their home. I don't want them to feel that, I want them to feel that they own the restaurant, not us. So that's what makes them, I feel at home. The staff knows them by name. They come and they,
Very
when
cool.
they sit on the table, they know what order is already sometimes.
Very
Yeah.
nice. And what happened when you shrunk the menu from 375 to 320, as you're saying?
You have a 5% drop for, say, 2-3 months. But then what you took out was not a
5%
selling dish.
revenue drop.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but 5, 7, 8, depending on the month, and depending, because you cannot understand that also, because every year different months have a different progression or regression. So we saw a 7-8% drop for 2-3 months, and then slowly progressed back, because people, they don't get that, but then they want to try something else. At the end of the day, they realize what they were not eating. So you get them to eat what you want them to eat, and then they realize that's good, and what they were eating was also good. But we are shrinking the menu a bit. Is easier to operate, it's easier to do things.
So that's why you shrunk the menu, because
Yes, it's easier to operate, and keeping the best things what people like in the menu. Some would go against it, some would go, but we try to innovate also. So then that innovation, you remove 25, you put in 5 better, and then shrink the menu and see, and try to understand how each division of your kitchen needs to operate very efficiently with more hygiene and speed, because people are a little impatient today, and getting into this business to deliveries, you have problems in getting the delivery faster because you're waiting at the restaurant sometimes. And we have to see that we give you good food fast, not fast food. So
And you earlier must have started as a dine-in only place.
we started actually as a dine-in, but we got into delivery very early, and we used to deliver food ourselves. So today there's a thing called batch orders and stuff like that, which a delivery guy in a very peak time may carry two parcels, sometimes three parcels. So when we were doing delivery our own, guy used to carry even five or six parcels. So I understand your pain points. It's not that like a lot of restaurants must be giving you a flag that why you have to carry so many parcels. One gets delivered, then he has to go to the other. It's taking time. But either you'll shut the restaurant down for not having that. You're expanding your business at quite a high percentage every month, and you're going to face lack of not having people joining you. But then what is the option? That you already giving the customer information that he's going to get the parcel delivered at a particular time, sometimes in 20 minutes, in a peak time in 45 minutes. That's when the batch order happens, but then you've already informed the customer, so it's there. You get flag. Sometimes parcels get interchanged, we get flag for that. But yeah, it's workable, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think if we have to serve all orders at peak time at the same quality level without batching, we would almost need about 1 lakh. Like Zomato would need 1 lakh extra people
yeah,
for
yeah.
that peak time
So
only
it's
to be
like a
able to.
restaurant, no? See, if you look at it, I cannot today. I need 100 staff to run my restaurant on a Saturday, Sunday. I need only 50 on a Monday. But then I'm giving 25 off, 20 off each day, right? On Monday to Thursday. I can't give them off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you don't know, for you, you don't know which day they're going to switch you off. You don't have a particular day which is a holiday, right? So today you might have 2 lakh people servicing you, but on a particular day you might have only 75 people servicing you. So you have to increase your delivery charges at that particular day to give revenue to them, to want them to do more orders. But a customer has to understand that, the market has to understand that also.
I think we'll get
You're
there in
also a business which has to be profitable.
we'll get
So
there in some time.
yeah.
But what do you think are the pain points? I mean, from a food ordering point of view, how do you have to adapt the restaurant differently compared to dine-in? Is it like, are you able to manage both these channels really, really easily and well through your outlets, or?
So we get, the kitchens are bigger, people are more. So we have a team calling out the order for delivery separate, calling out for dining separate. So you have different sections also. You have a packing section, you have a storing section, you have a dispatch section. So it adds to real estate in your place. But in the end of the day, the marriage of both works together, because your overheads are lesser in a delivery. You're not giving that much, you know real estate for space for the people sitting, air conditioning, power and stuff. That's what we share with you all. And the marriage of those two things really works, I think, well. It's a good balance, because it's a rainy day, people are not coming there outside, they get their food at home. You cannot say that today is raining, so I'm not going to do, I'm not, my restaurant's going to be, in Bangalore especially. In Bombay, if you say people go to work, if it's raining or not raining, people are there at the correct time because it rains. But Bangalore is very seasonal, and they're not used to this thing. So they don't turn up to work, some people, when it's raining, because of the transportation being not so thing, which is coming up right now with the new metro and stuff. But till then, it's difficult. So same goes with customers coming to the restaurants. Your business is very low, but you're delivering, doing that. So that's a good thing.
And when it comes to expanding the business now, how are you thinking about that? What are your biggest priorities and pain points when it comes to expanding the business?
Expanding the business is not only about food. Expanding the business is, you build an admin team also. Yeah, you need the correct, first is your food safety. You build a team for that. You get orders done. You get training people done. So you have a team training chefs who will then hire people also with the help of the executive chef. You'll build a better facility which can make your stuff. We ship our stuff in refrigerated trucks to our restaurants, like you say, the patties and the stuff to them. So getting the right logistics, bringing them there. So when you expand, everything expands. It's not that From small place you can service 20. So we've been working on that, and it's taken us a year to get there. I think another 40 days that should be ready, and that's when we'll double up our game for the next season. I think 3 years, and then we'll see where it goes from there. We want to venture into many closer cities. Not
And you're planning to venture close to Bangalore cities
Yes.
first, and then see what
There's a
happens
lot
after
of
that.
market, no? And the end of the day, there's a lot of market, and we're not with a gun to a head that we need to grow very fast. So we'll grow organically as and how the market demands, and we want to retain our staff going to the higher levels of your business in the restaurant, rather than hiring people from outside. Yes, but at levels where people are going to bring strong points for us. We are really looking for talent, which is not very easy coming today.
For a partner like us, like how can Zomato do better for you and your customers, like according to you?
Zomato is doing a great job for us right now. The only pain point, as I feel, is the labor. The rate at which you are growing, getting people in at the delivery part has become a little pain point I see for you all, because a lot of times, there is a stress and orders getting delayed. So we need to cut that time of food being ready from the restaurant going to the customer. Even we have problems sometimes of staffage, so the order might come out a bit late, but the same thing, problems which we have are also your problems. It's all human problems. So the rate at which we grow and the rate at which you grow is, the hiring has to be done at that pace.
Correct. And hiring is, the business is a volatile business. Like
Yeah.
The bottom to peak is a 3x difference,
Yeah.
and just being able to account for that is very
Yeah.
very hard
Yeah,
for
yeah,
both
yeah.
of us. Anything else you think we can do better?
What you can do
If
better?
that's the only thing, I'm super happy to take
No,
it. But
No, you're all providing, for packaging. You're giving us certain. No, now today here after this, I think we sit with your design team maybe to work out some better forms and look and feel and better packaging which is eco-friendly. We're trying to see how we can achieve that. So helping in that, we buy a lot of produce from you, raw material from you. So you're
from
helping in
Hyperpure,
that. Yeah. So I don't think what else can we ask from you? I think we can't ask for you to provide our labor, neither can we provide you. So the pain points are going to be there, but we need to work hard on these things too.
absolutely,
But I'm glad we work together, because it's good for both.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we'll go.
And like, if you were to recommend to the restaurant industry as a whole, like on an average, okay, like 3 nuggets of wisdom, what would they be? 1, 2, 3, whatever, like whatever comes to your mind. Some things which you think that you understand deeply, but in general, the restaurant industry doesn't understand that deeply yet.
First thing is keep your staff happy. Yeah, if they're going to be happy souls, they're going to provide good food. When you have food at home, you say it's the love which goes into the food, right? So keep your staff really happy at the top of the game. That's the most important thing. That'll make them deliver quality. That'll make them look at the smaller things in life and not work as if they were working there as bonded labor. They need to be really happy and think that that they own the business. Same way, customers need to feel that they own the business as much as you own your business. And I think it's just hard work, putting there, staying there, being there for yourself. And it's a tough business. If you're going to think that I put in money and I hire staff and they're going to do it, I think it's quite a myth. You need to be there on top of your game. Yeah, unless you're super lucky and you can clone somebody who can operate it. But yeah, you need to be there all the time. And this is a tough business.
How much time do you spend like at the outlet?
Mm, this year I've been spending a little lesser time because I've been on working to my new project to do that. But yes, I visit each outlet at least one time or 2 times a week. We have 10. I try to spend more time in one outlet than running here there, paid points, see what is that, give them solutions to what. I have family, I have friends also looking after each restaurant. So they've been there, they've been working for quite some time with me. Some person has been there for 16 years, so I have ownership of each restaurant from the guys who run it. So today hiring for the market is very difficult for a maintaining a person for a long time, he understands each pain point of that, and he understands that this is my restaurant. I make them feel that way, yeah, and reward them in a certain way like that. So yeah, just retaining staff and keeping them happy, I think, is the key to success. Apart from your food, which your chef will deliver, and you know, you'll do innovation. That's also a good thing, but keeping everybody happy is the best part.
What is the core thesis of the food and the brand that you're building? There must be some, because it's an extensive menu, correct? What are you trying to build? What are you trying to serve? Is there a core thought behind
The
what you're
four
trying
things, I think it's giving people an American portion,
to,
giving
which is
them
large
a
portions?
large portion,
Okay.
giving them a price Chinese thing, which is a value for money price.
Mm-hmm.
Then giving them a palate, which is Indian flavor, so a twist to the food, and ultimately giving them, I think, Japanese consistency. Is gonna. You asked me 4 points. I said.
That's a very tall ask, right? So
See, we strive to do that.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's always you keep a scorecard for yourself, and you say, where am I going in this? And then you have data given by your.
Because maintaining high quality and consistency and lowish prices, I mean, all of these things are sort of opposite to each other, right? The forces are opposite,
Has
and
to
you
fill
build.
the box.
Yeah.
Everything has to fill the box.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And aiming for that goal is
So I'll tell you this one funny
Hmm.
story. I just remembered this is from that day. I started my first store, which is, I said, 15-seater, and we had 5 staff. I was one of them, another 5, and we were there. And we used to get a lot of Middle Eastern people also coming and eating for us. Chicken is a very popular thing, but we serve lamb as well. So the Middle Easterns like that kind of food, and we have serve a product also, which is lamb burger. So he used to come in at least 4 times a week, and he used to order 3 burgers. So I went to take the guy's order, and I said, "Why do you want 3 at one time? I'll give you everything hot, one after the other." So in this accent, he says, "I want to see the 2 and I eat the 1." So things like that drive us. That how he's salivating to eat, and he wants to see all his food while he wants to eat that. So
Oh, interesting. And I think with the quality that you have been able to maintain, you're not really only being able to get the price sensitive customer in, you get the entire
yeah.
range of customer base in.
It's when there's at peak times at our restaurant, there are people waiting, and depending on the real estate we get and the location, maybe a 60-seater to a 200-seater, which is our biggest restaurant, about 220. So it will be and there is lunch timings and the dinner timings. The restaurants are full, so we get a different set of customers who dine in. We get a different set of customers who do a delivery, because people sometimes don't want to wait at our restaurant. So we cater to all fields of people. But yeah, we want to cater to everybody. We're not targeting a segment. Yeah. So that's.
And in hindsight, what are the couple of things you wished like things could have been better with the business, or you would have done with the business, which you have not been able
I'm
to
telling
do
you, it's
so
an
far?
up and down, but it's been a good ride.
It's been a good ride. No
keeps
regrets.
you going.
No
It's
regrets.
going. You need something to drive you every day, right? So yeah, it's a good feeling to be there at work, and
so
yeah,
happy outcomes.
Yeah, it's happy outcomes. Yeah, so I take a holiday for 3 days every 3 months. That's what you look forward to, that, and you work harder every day.
Amazing.
Yeah.
No, great. No, thank you so much for sharing this. And I think
pleasure.
Each and every line you said, I think there's a lot to learn from this. And we're hoping to put this out for the benefit of everyone. So, thank you so much.
It's a real pleasure being here as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You.